Hey, how's it going, guys? It's me, Sanitary. Today's video, I wanted to talk about how if you're constantly always reminiscing about the past and you're always thinking about all the times that you've had regrets in life, you could have done this, you could have done that, and or you're always projecting for the future, you're always stressing about what's going to happen in the future or what goals that you haven't accomplished and that you want to accomplish. But if you're doing that, you're in the past and you're in the future. What about the present? What's going on with the present? Are you existing or are you just simply in the past or in the future? And the reason why I want to bring this video is that if you're never in the present tense, meaning I'm not saying physically, of course you're there, but your mind's always wandering in different spots and you don't learn to appreciate and soak in the current present moment. If you don't do that, then it could be a recipe for disaster and you could often be left unfulfilled. And the reason why I bring that up is I am guilty of this from time to time, although now I tend to have a little bit more of a realization of this thought process, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. If you're thinking about the past, and let's say you have all these regrets, there's nothing wrong with reflecting on the past as long as you learn from your mistakes. But if you're dwelling on your past, let's say you've had a really rough childhood and you're constantly dwelling on it, you need to address the issue. And it's not easy, but slowly try to learn from that experience and then move on because the past is the past. What's done is done. Water under the bridge, so to speak. And conversely, if you're always thinking about the future, that could mean that you are goal oriented, which is a wonderful thing. I am goal oriented, and that's a good thing to have. There's nothing wrong with having goals, but if you're constantly just saying, "Oh, if I could only reach that one goal, if I could just attain that job, or if I could just move out of my parents' house, or if I could just if," and if you're constantly just dangling that imaginary piece of hope, and you're just not really living in the present and appreciating how far you've come currently in the present, then once again that's not healthy. So take for instance for me, when I was in high school, my singular goal, obviously graduate high school, although it wasn't that much of a priority. That's a pretty easy thing to do. But to go to college, get my undergraduate degree, excuse me, and also high school athletics. When I was wrestling, I was super focused. I wanted to qualify for the California state meet, which is not a easy task, and I was laser focused. And it's like, oh, if I could just do it, and then you accomplish that goal, and then you go to college, get the undergraduate degree, you finish, and you say, oh, hopefully I'm gonna get a job, and then I had some downtime after a year, some soul searching, so to speak, had to change a direction in my career path, and went back to school, and then those were tough 3 extra years getting my second degree in the medical field, and it was very stressful. And at the time, I just remember thinking, I can't, I can't wait till this crap is over. Oh, it just feels like it's never gonna end. Not getting paid a dime. I'm doing all these clinical hours, over 2,000 clinical hours. I'm commuting an hour a day each way, or hour to the clinic and an hour back, so about 2 hours commute every day total, and I have to study for the board exam, and it's just really, really rough. And if only I could just reach that goal and get my job and get paid, then I'll be much happier, which was true. I became happier, but the thing is, once I got the job, did I ever have a moment in which I said, wow, I actually did give myself a pat on the back, and let's just take time to breathe and just think about how far I've come. But what did I do? It was just like, okay, now that I got this job, now it's like I gotta bust my butt, and if only now I need to move. I had moved back to my parents' house briefly, temporarily during school, which was helpful. I was fortunate enough. And then, after that, it was just like, oh, if only I could move out of my parents' house. I still have this car payment. If I could only get this paid off. I had some student debt, credit card debt. It wasn't too much, thank goodness. If I could do that, get my own place, oh, it would be great. What do? Start working within 6 months. Boom, I'm out of the house, into my new brand new place, my new apartment. Great accomplishment, right? What did I do? Yeah, I enjoy these moments, but I didn't let it sink in. I didn't live in the present. My body was physically in the new apartment. My body was, or how do I put it? My body was going to work every day physically, but mentally, my brain was just, instead of saying, "Hey, this is awesome, this is fun. I'm happy with where I'm at right now," and I wasn't miserable, but it was just like your brain's just constantly, like, I was just constantly just looking in the future for the next accomplishment, the next goal, instead of just soaking it all in. So it's just a pattern that over the years, and now that I am getting a little bit older now, um, comes life experiences, perspective, wisdom. Hopefully, I still have a lot to learn in life. I'm in my upper 30s. I have plenty to learn. But yeah, this is just, call it an epiphany, call it a moment of realization, moment of clarity, whatever you want to call it. But I just been noticing that, even after that situation with the apartment, the next goal is like, oh, get married, uh, become a homeowner. With my wife, we saved up in 2010. We got our first townhouse. And then after that, it's like, boom, we're happy. And it was like, oh, now I want to move into a single detached home, which we currently have now. And being able to afford and not be house broke and be able to afford a really beautiful home. Not here to brag or anything, but to be able to be fortunate, and we did work hard, but be able to be fortunate enough to afford a really good home with great neighborhood, great public school system, great area in general in the Silicon Valley, where it's one of the most expensive places to live. It's like I didn't. It's like, what's going on? I moved in, a couple years ago, and yeah, you have that moment. You're just like, yeah, this is great, but then again, it just happens again. It's just the same cycle. What was I obviously thinking now? It was, oh, what things that I can move around the house, renovate, and do this and do that. And once again, I'm not. It's not a sob story, but it's like, just take a deep breath, Sanitary James. My name's James. For people that don't know, take a deep breath and just soak it in. Just pump the brakes a little bit. Live in the present. Enjoy that you got the new house. Enjoy the moment. Have some friends over. You don't always have to just, all right, I got to start renovating right now. And I get neurotic like that sometimes. And during the first year of our new house, we got, the guest bathroom renovated. Boom. We had the whole house repainted. We had this, we had that, we had that. And my wife sometimes has to tell me and say, just take it easy a little bit. I kind of want to enjoy this a little bit instead of just constantly changing everything. So took all those years, and I'm kind of starting to realize, and I don't want to ramble on too much if you made it this far, but moving forward, the best thing that you can do to avoid this pattern is just try to recognize it. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm always going to be kind of type A, and always be focused on certain goals, and that's fine. But there's got to be a balance, and I think the first step in going in that direction is to realize that thought process, that negative thought process, which I have come to the realization. So that's my video. It's getting a little bit long. If you made it this far, thank you. And that's just my perspective, speaking from the heart. So if you're constantly just only thinking about the future, and only um, or you're beating yourself up about the past, just try keeping that balance. Live in the present. Do have a future. You want to have future goals, but hey, live in that present moment. Okay, thinking and stressing constantly over things that are out of your control. Just control the things that you can, and then If this weekend you have a party to go to and you're gonna meet some old friends, that's what you should be focused on. Meeting your friends, having a good time, living in the present, catching up on good old times. Instead of, oh, I gotta stop by my friend's house for an hour, but then I gotta get back because I'm stressing out about this and I gotta do this, and you're gonna burn yourself out. Quantity is not always the best. Quality of work and quality of life is what's important. That's my time, guys. Hope you guys got something out of that, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.